Well, Rob, it's an exciting time for Truro City on the pitch ahead of the 25-26 National League season. But a lot's going to be going on off the pitch as well, especially here at the Truro City Stadium. We're going to have a weekly catch-up with you, telling all the fans about what's going to be going on around the stadium ahead of those opening fixtures in August. First of all, can you just talk about the Eden Hot Tubs North Stand behind you? Season tickets have been on sale for that part of the ground, along with the rest of the ground, for over a week now. But fans have been able to choose their seats, and if they've been eagle-eyed and looked on the ticketing website, they would have seen that it looks a little bit bigger than it does at the moment. Can you just explain what's going to be going on over there? Yeah,
well, exactly what you said. The developments that are happening this summer are cornerstone by two sort of significant developments. So behind me, the Eden Hot Tub stand, that's going to expand. It's going to be roughly 3 times the size that it is now. Like you said, people who've been on and bought their seated season tickets will have been able to see a seating plan, which will give you an idea of the scale of it. So it's going to be a lot more covered seating for the supporters to enjoy the games from next season. And that's going to be unfolding over the next, like you said, couple of months. And then the other sort of significant development is that we're going to do some relocation of some of the buildings that we've got, which will enable us to put in place an away section, effectively for purposes of segregation, but just to have a dedicated part of the ground for away supporters without having to give up sort of space that our existing supporters kind of love to enjoy on a match day. And that'll form part of, behind the western goal, we'll have a couple of the smaller standing terraces, which currently are either side of the Eden Hot Tub stand. They'll move to go behind the western goal, and that will form partly an away section, but also partly some overflow home fan space as well. Timescales as well, although time is tight. We managed to get a stadium here 12 months ago, didn't we? So perhaps nothing's impossible, is it? Not in this club, mate, no. We are up against it for time. We wouldn't have it any other way. We know that. It's a small window, promotion only confirmed just a few short weeks ago, but it feels like we're bearing down on the season already. But yeah, we know we've got a hard deadline, but we're confident, we're comfortable. There's no reason to believe that it won't be done in time for when we need to kick a ball potentially here on August 9th. The pitch as well, it's looking in fine fettle, isn't it? You wouldn't think that there was all those games played on it throughout the last season, pretty wet at times, wasn't it? It really is looking magnificent, the pitch. It certainly does, and the Cornwall aeration guys are working incredibly hard, as they always do, in keeping it nice for us. Obviously, it's our first off-season with the pitch in full swing, so they're doing all they need to do to look after it. But no, it looks magnificent. Every day we come and we walk through the gate and we see it there looking at us, and yeah, it's smiling, just waiting to be played on. You talk about the spectator facilities, food and beverage as well, something we'll talk about in future videos as well, but just give the fans a little taster, pardon the pun, of what's going to happen. Some different food and beverage options. Definitely. Look, a huge part of this club is not standing still. We have to improve, we have to push forward, and that doesn't just go for what's on the pitch, it goes for what's off the pitch as well. We were on a short deadline last year. It was sort of very, very, very tough to get everything over the line in terms of the opening game. But we can't rest on our laurels, and we know that with sort of rising up through the leagues, that there becomes new challenges, and they're lovely problems to have. But it's really important to us that we keep the fans updated, really important to us that we don't give people cause and reason to be coming and peering over fences, because actually, that in a way can cause us other problems. It's important that we come on here on the official channels, make sure that we keep supporters informed with exactly what we're doing and exactly when we're doing it. And in terms of food and beverage, there is a ton of exciting stuff to come, and that'll be something that, like you said, we'll talk about in these updates going forward. Yeah, just finally, Rob, you talk about keeping the supporters informed. That is important, and you mentioned about not peering over fences. Soon this will become a live building site, so we would encourage the supporters, wouldn't we, to follow our progress or follow the ground's progress on our official channels, and please don't come and peer over fences because it will be a live building site. Look, there is nobody more aware of where we need to be by which dates than we are. We've got an incredible pre-season schedule, which we're really proud of. Obviously we know we've got a game to prep for on the 16th of July. It's going to be interesting because actually not everything's going to look totally different by then. A chunk of what it is we're talking about is going to happen sort of post Argyle, and so we know where we need to be by which deadlines. We're confident it will happen, so we've got a scheme of works that we've got to stick to, and things will happen gradually. But you're dead right. It's going to become a live building site in the not too distant future, and it's really important to us that we keep everybody safe. And so we'll communicate what's happening on the official channels so that people don't need to come up and sort of put themselves at risk.
Well, Rob, thanks for the update, and we'll look forward to our catch up next week.
Thanks.